I just, first want to congratulate South Dakota State on their really, really good season, because I know they play in one of the toughest conferences in the country, and also won a big game on the road last week, and I know they've been on, I think, we were maybe their fourth straight road game, and they, so credit to them. We knew it would be a tough, very tough opponent, and it proved to be just that. So proud of our guys, though. Especially we've continued to, no matter what. In most games we've been up going into halftime, but the last couple we were tied today, down 2 games ago against Portland State. We've just found a way to continue to do a really good job of playing 60 minutes, and especially playing well in the third quarter, and today into the fourth quarter as well, when it was still a ball game. So proud of our players for that. I thought we stepped up and played some cold weather playoff type football. I think a lot of times as a team we get looked at in a certain way because of maybe we put up a lot of yards passing or this, that, and the other, and we were able to really play some grind it out, win the turnover battle, great second half defense, and finish running the ball really well, along with scoring through the air quite a bit too, especially in that second half. So proud of the guys for their fight, and now it's just, we know they just keep getting tougher as you go.
Vernon, how does the running game that was obviously very good today help you as a passer?
It helps a lot, when I started off slow in the first half, nothing was really going in the passing game or whatever, and we just went in the locker room and we knew what we had to do, and we said let's run the ball a little bit more, let's make them stop our run, and then it just looked good. Our O-line was getting pushed, and Quincy was running amazing. Mario did good too, and it was unfortunate with Bronson down at the goal line, but it's all right. We came back. We told him it's all right. We got his back. And our D came back, got a fumble, went down, scored it. It's just it's really good when our running game is doing so good and our passing game is not so hot.
Bruno, what's the coldest weather you ever played in high school?
I would say like 60 degrees.
Yeah.
I would say
And
60.
did Beau point out that this balmy weather might be a factor up here at times? Or did he tell you it was 70 all the time?
We were practicing it all week, so it's just, we were kind of used to it, I guess, and I'm glad I got through it.
Did it have any effect at all on anything you guys wanted to do, whether it be throw or pass the wind at all?
No, not at all. I felt like we handled it well throughout the whole week. It was, like I said, it's cold. They're playing in the same weather too, so it's not like it's just against us. And I felt like we handled it well, and our defense stepped up big first half and second half. They had our backs throughout the whole night.
Vernon, they showed some different things today. They played a lot more 3-4 than they usually do. Yet they were jumping back to the 4-3 times. How did you handle that? Did it surprise you, and ultimately you adjusted? What was key to that?
It definitely surprised me. They dropped a lot of 8-man, and I just had to take what they were giving me. Coach was telling me the whole time, we're fine. Just take what they give me, and like I said, our running game was huge. They were playing 3 down, and that's huge. If it's 2 high safeties and they only got 3 down linemen, they're begging for us to run the ball. That's what we did, and we did it pretty good.
TJ, a couple players in the defensive backfield went down early. I know Ronald Banks went down. You were out a little bit. Can you just talk about the depth of this secondary and how you guys were able to plug and play guys throughout the season?
Man, we got a lot of young guys on the team. They've been rotating all year. They did a good job of rotating, so they have, in some aspect, they have that experience, And it's good this time to have them this late in the season, to be able to depend on them and know what they can do in these times. And you got Murph. Murph came in. He did a good job of helping with the depth and making plays out there. He did a good job at safety, as well as the other guys.
Mentioned the turnovers. You talk about the ability you guys were able to get the ball out today.
Oh yeah, that's big for us to go and make. I think it was 2 or 3 turnovers in the third or second half of the game. That was big, and it definitely gave us the momentum shift for the offense to go down and score and win us the game.
All week, Vernon, the talk had been about their defensive front, their defensive line in Kilgore. You guys only gave up 1 sack today and rushed for 287 yards. Can you just talk about your offensive line, that group?
Yeah, they did amazing job. First half, they were getting around our tackles a little bit, but I was holding the ball a little bit too long, you know, and I just got to get the ball out of my hands. And yeah, 34 and 93, those guys were players, you know. We keyed on that all week. Slide, if we do change protection, slide to those guys, you know. And they're players, you know. And like you said, I got sacked once, and I just held the ball a little bit too long. And second half came out, and we adjusted, and we were fine.
Any more questions for the players?
14 was close to 200 yards. You guys give them a couple more carries there at the end on that 200-yard mark?
Yeah, I think so. And I was just telling the O-line. I heard it on the sideline, so I was just telling the O-line, like, hey, let's get Quincy 200. You know, he deserves it. He's been running hard all year, especially today. You know, he did his thing, you know, and that's good to see him get the 200 yards.
Well, I don't know. I mean, fortunately, we were in a safe look. We still had our defense on the field. So I'm sure that's why they were trying to check out of it, because they saw that we didn't have our punt return team. So, but I've been in that spot. It's easy. Hindsight's always 20/20 when something doesn't work. So I know that can happen out there. I just, you know, I was proud of our guys for just being disciplined, just understanding the situation and making sure that we were key to that, because I thought it was a spot where they may go for it. So once they lined up with their punt unit, we kind of keyed them when we were out, safe, watch for the fake, and hence is why they were trying to check out of it.
What was the key to stop and run and stop and center today?
Oh, I don't think you ever just stop him. I know we held him a little more in check maybe than he had later, but he's a great running back. I just think our guys, you got to get a lot of hats to the football. You have to have that extra hat. You can't leave those situations where if one guy misses, he's gone. Because really, when it comes down to it, he's one of the better home run hitters I've seen. You know, in terms of he'll run, and then all of a sudden he'll bust one. I mean, last week he had that 83-yarder, kind of turned the tides in that NAU game when NAU was trying to go up 2 scores, and he's done that in a lot of games. You saw it even against the likes of Nebraska. I mean, he'll get out and run. He'll run away from anyone at any level. So it was really key that we made sure that we took good angles and then we got that extra hat and weren't in situations where he could bust those long ones, because that's where I think when they really churn up some points and yards, it's when he has 2 or 3 of those big runs in a game, and it's obviously it's very common for him. I mean, twice the young man's run for 2,000. I think he did today, went over it, but that's special. So a lot of respect for the way he runs the football, but proud of our guys, because that's not easy to do.
Did you ever dream that Quincy Forte would have almost 3 times as many rushing yards as center? That's just the way it shaped up.
Yeah, probably wouldn't predict that. I think sometimes people look at us because of some of the numbers we've had throwing the ball and some of Vernon's numbers and think we're just a pass-first team and Coldwood, this, that, and the other, you know. But when you really look at our numbers, I would say we're probably pretty close to 50-50 on the course of the whole year. So, you know, you're going to have those games where, kind of like what Vernon was talking about, if teams are going to stay in a little bit softer coverage or really try and defend the pass, we have to be able to run the ball. And Quincy, along with, you know, the nice thing is, the reason I think he's able to go 21 for 203 is because all year long you've had guys like Mario and Jabari and Demetrius and even Jalen. So he's not like he's had 300 carries to this point. I think he came into the game probably with only 10 or 12 carries a game. So because we've been able to do it by committee because we have so much talent there. So he's still a fresh back here in game 13, where a lot of times when it's your workload back, they may not be as fresh. They've had 300 carries in a year. So that's part of our philosophy too. You see it with our D-line, you see it with our running backs, is I want to be great at the end of the year with our D-line. I want to be great at the end of the year with our tailbacks. And by playing more guys, you know, throughout the year, it allows us to still have some fresh guys late.
Was it frustrating at halftime to only have run 26 offensive plays? It looked like it was maybe shaping up the way they wanted it to go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get too frustrated ever. I mean, I really don't. I just, you know, I know that first off, they have the opening kickoff, so that already adds to that. You know, when you know you're going to get that extra possession by having that opening kickoff, especially when we weren't able to do anything with that last possession right before half. And no, it's not frustrating. They're good at that. I mean, I think Youngstown ran like 41 plays against them and other teams. So South Dakota State is very good at snapping the ball with 1 or 2 seconds on the clock on offense and playing great defense and forcing teams into a low number of plays in the game. you know, and you just have to weather that a little bit and just have to know that we have to be that much more precise in the second half. You can't waste possessions against a team like that because before you know it, the game will be over. So, no, I guess frustrating is never, very seldom ever a word. It's just more, you know, we talk about making adjustments. Okay, here's where we're at. And in some ways, it's a positive. We've got 14 points. We only run 26 plays. We're going to get the ball to start the second half. You know, it's going to be a different. We're going to start, you know, making some adjustments and doing some good things in this third quarter with more opportunities.
4th and 6 call, big play.
Yeah. Big play.
You do those on a regular basis, though.
Yeah, that was never anything but a 4-down territory for me right there in that point. I mean, you know, I just think the odds are there in terms of, you know, if we don't get that, defense goes out there. It's not like it's awful field position, you know, and if we were able to do that, and great play by Vernon and Coop to execute that. But, yeah, that's pretty common for us to do that. You know, what's uncommon was that was a very nice play. It wasn't like it was well defended and they got a little pass rush, you know, and remember, I think he really had to step up, avoid and find Coop late because he was probably getting hit.
Couple more questions?
Beau, on Cooper, great season he's had. You talked about it a lot, but now he's breaking records. Randy Moss, what can you say about his season as a freshman?
Oh, it's special. Again, he's one of those young men that came here with talent. There's no doubt about that. Had a lot of talent, probably in a lot of years would have played as a true freshman in most years. But because we had 3 seniors last year, Hurd, Edwards, and Kaufman, well, Kaufman Jr., but, you know, still his 4th year of playing football, we decided that he would be able to redshirt. Well, he took the redshirt year and took those talents to another level. And he'd been doing that all his life. In other words, I mean, that guy spends time in the film room like a quarterback. He spends time 365. You have to kick him out of the weight room. You do, just, you know, and make sure he stays balanced, you know, as a human, because that's just how he is. I mean, Cooper Kupp's one of those guys. If he's not watching film, he's catching tennis balls. So with the tennis ball machine in the off season, when you're not allowed to use footballs, I mean, he's just always doing things to be better. So there's a prime example. Everyone comes here with talent, just like they come to every university with talent if you're recruited to play football, but certain guys maximize it, and he maximizes it to that, you know, that a level that's, you know, different than any freshman I've seen.
The wind did all bother you guys today? No, the cold didn't, but.
No, a little bit in the kicking game. We had to, you know, make a couple adjustments. We probably should have, you know, sky kicked a couple of it, you know, just because it's tough on a return unit. I've been in that spot where that one hit on them when we skied it. I've been in that same spot. That is a tough ball to field, and that's probably where I noticed it. Didn't really notice it in the passing game on either side. I didn't think their quarterback had any issues with the wind either.